Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Mark from CricketBatInfo, and today we're doing a New Balance DC1280. This is the Steve Smith bat, Players Edition, straight after this. Thank you very much to Christie over in Perth. He sent over 3 bats. I've already done a focus review, which I hopefully have posted before this. And this is the second bat. This is his New Balance DC1280. It's the Steve Smith profile. As you can see there, it's a bit lower. And it's been purchased from Brewing Cricket. I think they're in India. BrewingCricket.com. As with most reviews from now on, I'm asking the owners or the brands to actually give me information that I'll just read out so I don't get it wrong. So Christie's over in Perth. This is the New Balance Steve Smith Players Profile. It cost him $915. It's obviously been purchased from Brewing Cricket online. Feedback about the customer service, very friendly customer service. Christie has purchased at least 50 bats from him for his mates. Very reliable and honest. His explanation of performance and pickup is on point always. Packaging is absolutely insane. I've got 3 identical boxes from Brewing Cricket and they're really, really good quality. They're good dimensions so the bats don't get dented in any way, and they're really good quality cardboard. So that's something that retailers out there really need to think about. There's no point selling a bat to somebody and it arriving damaged. These boxes are such good quality that he's managed to put 3 of them together, and all 3 bats he sent me are in excellent condition, and they were all packed with bubble wrapping. He told the seller about 6 months before he purchased this to let him know if he had any special bats, and he got back to him recently to say he had a special bat. This is not off the shelf. This is a Steve Smith IPL edition shape. So let's have a good look at that. That is quite big, isn't it? Let's see if it goes through the scale. And yeah, it's massive. Have a look at it. Have a look at that. It's just, I really can't get the gauge over it. That is just big. Wow. So obviously once this is knocked in and you roll the edges and that, then the gauge goes over. This bat is in brand new condition. I can see a couple of little seam marks on it, but have a look at the quality of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 grains, and they're not perfectly even, but they're fairly even in the center. And let's have a look at through the toe. They're nice, aren't they? And just look at how full that shape is. Put the straight edge on it, and there's a tiny little bit of a gap there. If I get the lighting behind it, you can see it. It's very, very small. New Balance make beautiful bats, I've got to say. Really been impressed. I did do the 1260 Players Edition this year, and I think I did a 1080, so that's the one below this. But I've been impressed with all of them. The quality of the stickers. This has got that nice embossing and texturing. The holographic shapes underneath, and the blue, which hopefully is coming through. It's that really dark blue, and even you get a nice quality case to go with it. I'm very happy with what New Balance is doing at the moment. And even the edges, they're not sharp or anything like that to enhance that. This is a nice bat, and you can see that it is the Smith profile because he hits much lower in the bat when you see him play. He's hitting around this sort of area here. And the way that the edge sort of peaks here and then dips down a little bit, your absolute sweet spot will be right where Smith is hitting it generally. But it's going to have a little bit more up here, but Smith generally doesn't really hit up here, but obviously sometimes if you've got a short ball, he's got to do something with it. It does have that sort of flatter toe. I've spoken a lot about don't go chasing players shapes and things like that, and I think last time I did the 1260 Players Edition, I actually went on this sort of discussion about that. But you know, those bats are there for those guys who are the collectors, I guess, who know what they're doing. And I generally think that if you're going to buy a bat like that, then put it to use and don't let it sit on a shelf. But yeah, I always give you that thing about don't go chasing unicorns. So firstly, starting at the shoulders, it's quite big. We've got 16. I'll do a measurement up here at the top. 36.9, which is good. We'll do a measurement here in the mid-low. 41.4, that's why it's not going through the gauge. And here at the toe, because of the IPL edition, it's much lower and thicker at the toe on some of those sandcastles they've been playing on. 25.2, 31. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? We'll do a measurement of the width, and I can tell automatically when I've got it in the gauge that there's no issue with the width on these bats. 108.7. You could argue that it's slightly big. It can be. The actual width of the gauge is 110. Measure that spine. Yeah, 69.7. It's even got the holographic sticker there that they put on. The Players Edition, typical FC Sondi markings on the shoulder. It's got the genuine New Balance grip. Slightly, I'd say you would call that semi-oval shape at the bottom hand and slightly semi-oval at the top, but I wouldn't call that oval. And we'll roll down this grip where we should see, there you go, 10.03, and nice binding. I wish they put a tiny little bit more glue on that so it doesn't go as furry, because that can cause your grips to slide a little bit. But you as the owner can just roll down your grip and put a little bit of PVA on that. Really good quality grips they do. And we'll get a measurement of that handle. So, because people have been asking me to do this, and if this is a player profile, we'll see what it is. So 38 with a grip on. 34, so semi-oval. Yeah, it's very, very nice. And what does it actually feel like in the hands? You'd guess with that low middle that you're looking at something that's going to pick up. Not great, but it's still a lot of wood traveling up here to the handle. You know, just by looking at it, then I'm looking at least a 211, 212 for that volume, maybe even a 213. So in the hands, it picks up nothing like that. It's extremely well balanced. I've got to say, it feels like between 2.8.5 and 2.9. It is beautifully balanced. Put it on the scales, making sure that that is zeroed, and we weigh it. It's 29.7. Yeah, it feels nothing like that. This is proper low density stuff that is really, really hard to come by, and look at the quality of that. So he said he paid $915. What a bargain. So brewingcricket.com. Obviously the fact that he's got a special relationship buying so many bats puts him at the top of the pecking order. People generally tend to look after their top customers. Well, you'd hope that's the case. Let us tap it up and see how sweet this bat is. Now, you'd call it a replica. We're not calling it actually one of Steve Smith's bats. It's a replica. We'll tap at the toe. And just as I thought, right there is where it's going insane. Yeah, that's nice. So it's really going in this area here, and that pretty much matches the swell. It's slightly on the firmer side, but I imagine once I oil it, it's going to go. I think that's really nice. Very, very nice. Thank you very much to Christie from WA for sending that in for us to see. We're always very privileged when these rare bats come along, rare shapes. But I also do, you know, all the other extremes, from the unknowns to the budget bats, some different willows, anything that I haven't seen before that I think is of interest to the community who support the channel, then I'm going to have a look at it and give you my honest opinion. But this is an outstanding cricket bat. If you like what I do, think about clicking that like button and subscribing if you want to see more. Plenty of bats on there. Second New Balance Players Edition for the year. And this has been CricketBatInfo, New Balance, Steve Smith IPL Edition.